Jack,
Yo.
good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Ah, how are you today?
Um, actually, maybe a little bit better than I have been.
Which prompts a couple of questions. What's the have been part?
Well, my BP was awfully high for recently, and this morning is the first morning in a couple of weeks that it broke, came back down to totally normal.
Totally normal, like in 120 over 80.
This one was 118 over 70, so yes.
You're healthier than I am.
Well, I'm not.
Come on. All
But
I understand are simple, single metrics. Okay.
well, there is no single metric in a biological creature. So
I'm a
um,
simple person. Mm,
it's if you're persistently running high, um, I would think you'd be on some sort of heart med.
I am. I'm on two. And the best they can do is bring me to between 130 and 140.
Oh, I don't
Uh,
like that.
yeah. No, but that I've been that way for probably close to 2 decades.
What are you on?
Amlodipine,
Yes,
and lisinopril.
I'm in both. I'm on both of those too, but they just put me on lisinopril uh, because amlodipine is a calcium blocker that basically opens uh, uh, tends to drive your BP even higher. So when I switched to lisinopril, the effect was immediate.
What's your dosage on lisinopril?
It's 2.5 milligrams.
Oh, I'm way higher than you. I think I'm at 10.
Oh, well, so all I know is that my nephrologist told me that the amlodipine I should substitute at least once a day the lisinopril.
Uh, hey, Kayla, welcome. We're talking about how my blood pressure is high and I'm about to die. And Jack is
Oh,
perfectly normal at about 118 over like, I don't know, 78, 80, something like
excellent.
Well, that's what today's the first day it's come back to that. Yes. And that that's a very pleasant. It's always been like that. I mean, I remember the first time I went in to a new clinic for a bone marrow aspirate. My BP rose at the clinic to 122 over 80, and and for me that was just unheard of because it was always well under 120.
that. I don't even think that the degree of granularity of the either instrumentation or the nurses or the doctors who take those measures can even get to within 1 or 2 points reliably.
Well, it
I mean,
it can't. It can't.
yeah,
There's measurement error.
right.
I use
I'm
a
surprised that
machine.
that you were upset at 122.
I I uh, I use a machine um, that takes my BP 3 times and averages
Okay,
them
before it tells you anything. Okay, all
before
right.
it tells me anything.
Yeah, good.
And I know that the one in the clinic takes a very long time before it tells me anything. So it may be doing multiple readings.
Yeah, let's try to get 10 successive heartbeats first. Make sure you're alive.
and and but the one that I take to Hawaii, it just reads one time.
Okay. Kayla, how's your blood pressure?
Oh, I don't know yet. I haven't checked it.
You're not checking it 3 times a day? Okay.
Just letting you guys know that I'm probably going to be listening mostly because I have to go to the grocery store.
Hmm.
Um, and then yeah, that's it.
Well, it's good to see you here anyway, because I thought you had said yesterday that you might not even be here. You were so packed full of calendar items. So good
Yeah.
to see you.
Well,
Just pop in anytime you hear something that, triggers you, and then, go on a minor rant, and then, that'll be more entertaining for Jack and me.
well, there's two things that are on my mind. Number one, I love seeing my kids happy. I like it when they're
Hmm.
happy. And then the
Yep.
second thing is we really need to take care of each other.
Yep,
Ooh, go more on
yep.
that one.
Well, the happy kid thing is enormously powerful.
Yeah, I like laughing with my kids and sharing memories and all that good stuff with them. And then the thing with the we really need to take care of ourselves is, or each other. I don't know. That just kind of crossed my mind. Um, Somebody had asked me what I value the most, and I don't know why. Well, no, I do know why now. This was an interview question. What do I value the most? My dad just passed, and I was doing the first round of interviews with somebody, and I said, honestly, the generations, being in the same household. I think that's really important, especially if they're healthy. Of course, we don't want any toxic generations in the household. But I'm in this point where at 50, I'm still taking care of my kids, and then I'm also helping to take care of my parents. And so it's just this middle ground where you're like, okay, um, you've got to raise your kids, but you also have to mind, your elders too. So that's it.
So it's been my observation that that is overwhelmingly an Asian cultural thing.
Not just an
Although,
Asian, because you'll see all of the like. There's a lot of cultures that have the generations in there.
well, here in the colonies, we tend, on average, not to. Um,
Yeah.
but I do know that we brought my grandfather over, and we actually built a whole new bedroom and with a bathroom on the back of our house for him, and he stayed there until he burned the house down.
Oh my gosh.
And then he was finally put in an old folks home.
Yeah. Well, it's more cost efficient. And then also better, in my opinion, for the family to have lots of generations. It's from top
Well,
to bottom. And I think
it
this country and a lot of other colonized countries they're too fixated on independence. It's
well
something
that's
that's like valued way over the fact that we can learn from each other and grow
well,
together.
we're in total agreement with that. But remember that America was colonized by fundamentally horse riding cowboys, and
Wait, wait, wait,
and
wait, wait. No, that was much, much later.
that was much later. It started out with just the pilgrims coming over here for religious freedom and then
No,
beating
no,
the
no, no,
crap
no,
out of
no,
the.
no. It started with millions and millions of, hundreds of millions of indigenous people.
Well, no, so you're going back before we became the colonies. Yes, it was Asians that came over here by walking across an ice bridge to Alaska and then down into Canada and further into all the way into South America.
Yes, of
And
course. And
So
they
we have
certainly
that in our
had,
history. Yes.
yes,
yes,
yes. And they were very, very much multi-generational.
Exactly.
They were everything we should be. Yes, we all
Yes.
know that. Um, it,
And they got raped. They
they got
got
Yep.
raped,
killed. They got massacred.
and that's on us, white people from Europe. Yep, it is. And I'm not proud of proud of it at all.
I think it's very healthy to acknowledge as a white male because not enough white males acknowledge that.
No, I think it's well. So for example, we have a Native American tribe here in Temecula called the Pachanga tribe of something or other, Lakota Indians or something. They put up a massive casino resort, and they draw very big name performers, and they bring people from all over the world. And one day they realized that somebody was going to buy the mountain next to them, which they considered sacred grounds. They were going to buy the mountain next to them, um, and turn it into a rock quarry. So the city of Temecula hired an attorney to come up and fight their battle. And the rock quarry was going to mean that there were going to be hundreds of dump trucks entering the freeway daily for a very long time. And he won locally, and then when it went to the county, one supervisor at the county said nah, and and uh, and and allowed the purchase. So what the Indians did is they just went and bought the fucking mountain themselves. Bought it right out from under it. They had the money. And so what it's caused is we now have an annual celebration here in town. Now this is a redneck town, and yet there's a lot of white people in our town who totally get along with them. It's really a very nice relationship. But I was
So,
referring to the fact that once we decided to spring out of the original colonies, and we'd already pretty much raped everybody and trashed the place. We were on horseback and uh, you know buggies and whips and all kinds of things coming across the country, um, and just taking land and killing people. And then the Spanish Catholics came up and basically just really messed up
Yeah.
the California
Yeah.
natives. We have all of these missions in California. I think you've got some near you, Kayla, that they enslaved the natives.
what's sad is that either in fourth or fifth grade, I do remember each of my kids having to learn where the missions were, but it was totally out of context. They didn't
Yeah,
understand why they were learning that
that's the point.
little meme.
Right.
No
They're
idea.
still learning that these days.
No idea until you sort of put together that history in an art, in a story. But that's not done in fourth grade. All they had to do is, I got to take the shoebox and I got to put a little teepee over here. I got to put a little mission over here. I got to put a
Yep,
bunch of little, cactuses over here and turn in that project and I get an A. And they don't understand any of the context.
that's the point.
That's the quality of our education today.
Yep.
So, Kayla,
Now, there, you hear this theory on parenting. They were too young to hear the facts.
no, the teachers were, uneducated to actually tell the story.
Well, that part is true because the teaching colleges don't teach them that stuff,
Right. That
and
curriculum excludes it. I mean, I
it's
still say, for example, why the bleep is my mind still full of this, the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria? Why the fuck was I taught that with, many other more important things to teach? Uh, when
and you
is the
come
last
from
time you
Taiwan,
used
and
that information?
yeah,
The
and
Nina, the
you come
Pinta, the
from
Santa
Taiwan,
Maria.
and you have to
Good
learn
morning.
which three boats, big old wooden tall boats, had brought them here.
They
That's
were tiny
amazing.
boats. They were tiny boats.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Heiner, B. Gates. Hey, Kayla had introduced to
I'm
us.
with a friend in his kitchen, and I'll just go to the other room so I don't bother him. Well, I'm just busy preparing for Monday. Everything geht gut.
Alles geht gut, ja? Well, we were on a topic that Kayla had introduced about taking care of each other and, in particular,
The
appreciating
generations.
multi-generational households and growing up multi-generational, which I
Yeah, that's
definitely
my
resonate
world.
with.
Intentional communities and deciding where you want to be when you're old or when you're young.
So, question for Kayla: do you think your kids see that? Do they appreciate it now, or have they gotten a deeper appreciation because of the last 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks?
Oh, they both, all of the above. They've always wanted to be around family. I didn't, but they've always valued that and have a deeper appreciation for it now. And I have to say that I have to.
Yeah, I grew up when I was young, up until I was 5 years old, in a three-generation household. And that was a big household because my grandfather had 11 kids. So I had lots of cousins. Well, I was one of the earliest ones, so I didn't have that many at the start. But I had definitely had a lot of aunts and uncles. And
Kayla,
that's rare.
did you know that the Philippines has a law that allows parents to sue their children if they don't take care of them when they're old?
No, that's probably why my parents came here. They were like, fuck that shit.
But if they were, I guess the question would be if they were of a multi-generational mindset, would that have been a problem? I guess you're saying it would have been.
Are you asking me that?
Yeah, I was asking whether or not you thought your parents really grew up with that multi-generational mindset.
Oh yeah, they absolutely grew up like that. My dad took care of his entire family when he went to the Navy. My uncle told me stories about how he would get they were very poor, they always emphasized that, but they always had money for beer. So there was that too. And they were emphasizing my uncle was telling me that my dad would, give him clothes from overseas, like Italian suits and stuff like that. And then my uncle would pretend it was from like a girlfriend overseas.
So did any of the older generation talk to you about the Japanese invasion of
Yeah.
the Philippines?
My mom told me how there were pictures that she had found when she was younger about how Filipinos were beheaded by the Japanese.
Yeah.
The Japanese occupation really kind of terrorized um, their community. So,
I read a book by it was written by a woman who she and her husband were up in the mountains in the Philippines. I'm guessing it was on the Big Island, the Luzon, and they were archaeologists or something like that, and they were doing research when the war started, and so they fundamentally got captured when the Japanese came up in the hills. And the husband was put on a boat and sent to Japan, and she was just put in a prison. And they write about all. She writes about how she was treated and how, after a couple of years, um, she ended up getting pregnant by a particular guy that was nice to her, an American, and and how the Japanese treated her reasonably respectfully as a pregnant woman. I actually met them. I met them. I'd already read the book, and I met them at a dinner at a friend's house in the Bay Area. He later went on and passed away from Alzheimer's, and I don't know where she went. I don't know what happened. But the stories of how they were treated uh, were pretty stunning. They would work really. They would get people that knew how to fix radios to build little radio sets, and then when the Japanese weren't looking, they would send out messages of where they were that the Americans would respond to, that kind of thing. There's all kinds of underground stuff going on. I also went out to what is it called, Pitcairn Island, the one that's just out of Manila. Um, or is it called Corregidor? I forgot. And saw the tall bronze statue of MacArthur, the guy who liberated them.
So may I ask again? I think there were points about being multi-generational, being part of the new generation, and feeling the benefits. And yet there was another aspect of the thread that said, well, quote unquote, the pilgrims, the white Europeans came from, I guess, not a cowboy because I objected to that term, but a an independent, non-multi-generational kind of culture.
Yep.
And that I think is a very key difference. And I miss it. I feel that I have that in me, and unfortunately, my kids do not. And that's one of the things I'm sad about.
Well, your kids came under the influence of their their culture, and their culture is not your culture.
Well, just like my culture was not my parents' culture, but I still have that appreciation for the multi-generational
Yeah,
family.
because you grew up in the middle of it, whereas they didn't.
I'm not asking for explanations. I'm just saying I'm sad that that is the case.
Yeah, well, I get that. I get that. I do not think my kids have that either. My kids are wildly independent.
But here's a question. Are they visiting you regularly? Are they checking in on you? Are they?
Um, my daughter is, of course.
Mhm.
She's there's fairly often frequent text messages. She asked me to be a reader of her novel that she's writing, and she and her husband always send me birthday and Christmas presents and so forth. My son, not so much. They're completely different animals. My son and his wife spend, let's just say, their wealth traveling the world. They just came back from Quebec. Whereas my daughter married a kid who was really practically grounded, and they bought a starter condo. My son, not so much. They're going to be renters.
Sorry, I had a call come in. I apologize.
My two kids are just different, each.
Yeah. And Heiner, I'm sorry I don't know this about you. I don't even know how many kids you've got or if you have any. Wie viele
You
Kinder
are
haben Sie?
muted.
Not now. Okay, I have two children. My son is 46, my daughter 42, and four grandsons.
Oh,
Do
Wow.
they visit regularly? Often?
Fun?
Do they
Well,
visit?
not so. They're in the south, and that's far away. I was living close to Munich around high tech and aerospace and environment. And I moved out, and they stayed and went to school in Bavaria, in the green area around the Ammersee.
How long is that train ride from Bayern to Berlin?
Very fast train, 6, 7 hours. By
That's
car, it can sometimes take 12 hours. It depends on the traffic.
okay. So that's about the distance from, well, no, it's similar, San Francisco Bay Area to where I live. That takes about 14 hours to drive.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have fast trains here.
I know.
The West Coast didn't get fast trains, but the East Coast is getting them. Um, my daughter is basically a 7 hour drive. Uh, Whereas my son moved away from the Bay Area and he's now in Seattle.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They had friends in Seattle, and that's what he chose to do.
Yep.
They went with their friends.
So
And
your son and my older daughter probably live like less than 10 miles away from each other.
more than likely, that's true.
Yeah. Well, just to complete the thought, I did have that multi-generational aspect. I, in fact, as some of you know, invited my parents to come live with me back in 2016, 2017.
I
And my dad
remember
did,
your father was there for a while.
yeah, he did try it for about 2 or 3 months and decided he didn't like it up here. Yeah, that was quick. That was a quick decision. But I made the attempt anyway.
You didn't waste any time.
No, in fact, given the amount of packing and unpacking and, finding a renter for his house in LA and coming up here and, deciding that he didn't like he had like 5 things he really didn't like about the place. So yeah, it only took
That's a
like two or
lot.
3 months for him to decide that nope, he was going to go to Hawaii, and that's where he and my mom stayed for quite a while, from 2017 to 2023 for 6 years, and then they moved to Taiwan. But I made the attempt.
Yeah, I met your father.
Yep.
May I jump in?
Please
Yep.
do.
Yes, please.
First, it's really my profession to do community building as town and state planner. And we have done very nice communities where they moved with 5 families and children into a neighbor, became the Lord Mayor. Then there are a region of about 7 villages around, close to the Baltic Sea. And I looked very much into worldwide intentional communities. So it is really a topic I would like to discuss, but not now. You see, I wrote in the chat that I will send you the invitation for Monday. It is all prepared by my friend Jörg for my birthday. And it is not this time, 17 hours, but it is 15:30, one and
Yes,
a
yes,
half hour earlier,
yes.
because we have to also link to friends in Thailand and Japan.
Okay.
So, Sam, I will send you the email, and you can please forward it then to the group and maybe other people. I like to see Tammy again, or whoever from the old connections. But definitely, if you can make it, we are also recording it. Kayla, Jack, and you, I would love to see you there. And if you pop in, not all the time, it's about 1 hour. That's perfectly okay.
Okay.
Well, if
So
it's early in the morning, I really can't make any
Thank you.
guarantees, but
okay. So that would be about
There-
6:30
there-
a.m. California time, our time, Jack. Kayla.
It's
yeah.
very early, I know. But otherwise, I cannot have people from New Zealand.
Oh,
And
yes.
anyway, I did it for my 70th birthday. And now we no, have a renaissance of Heiner 2020, Heiner reborn, getting again as a fighter for the global good things locally. But I'm not born to pitching here. I'm here in the middle of the street, just visiting a friend to have a good Wi-Fi, and tell you that I will send the email only in maybe 2 hours when I'm at home. I'm here with my iPhone, and the battery is already close to flat.
Okay, so Heiner, just to confirm,
No.
you are counting on me to record the event. Is that true?
No, you may come. You can also record it, but the invitation is by Jörg Altekruse, a
Okay.
filmmaker from Hamburg in Luxembourg,
Okay.
and we'll be a couple of people like last time.
Okay.
And fortunately, it is all ready. Everything is fine. If you join, I can make you host and you can record as well, but
Oh,
it's
wait, wait, wait,
actually
wait,
not
wait.
needed.
No, I just wanted to make sure that you do have someone hosting Zoom and that someone is recording, because if you didn't, I would do so, but I do have something scheduled at 6:30 on Mondays on a regular basis. So I could be there late, but I would find it very difficult to be there on time unless I cancel this one event, this one
No,
time.
no, don't cancel something which is important. No, it should be all working fine. We have professional people there, and I would really like to make it an overarching thing.
Okay,
Thank you
great.
for your offer. We are fine.
Then
Oh,
I
yes,
will
sir.
come, but I will not be right on time at that particular time. I'll come probably 20, 30 minutes late, unfortunately.
C'est la
Okay.
vie, c'est la guerre. That's what we say. It all happens.
Kleine guerre. Okay.
Germans
So,
don't say c'est la vie. You know that.
Yeah, they do. I just heard one do it. Come on.
anyway, I would love to see you. And if you have the connections to Tammy, for example, would be also great. I'm missing her, and I
You
don't
know,
know what happened to her.
about a week or so ago, we had Thanksgiving here in this country, and I pinged a few friends saying thank you for being my friend. And Tammy responded, Tammy and Harry both. So, it's very sparse, but we're beginning to text. They nicely invited me to come visit them in the Netherlands. And so I warned them that I might actually do that because once I get these places rented, I could probably go there. So
Okay, hop
that
over.
might be
It's very
possible.
easy from their place to my place with a direct train. It takes 5 or 6 hours as well. But please send me the email. I have it. No, I don't have it from Timmy, and I would like to make sure she's coming like last time.
Wait, send you what email?
Her email or her
Um,
telephone number or anything.
I only communicate with her usually on Facebook Messenger. So that's
Uh-huh.
how she pinged me.
Uh-huh.
And
Well,
Harry
then,
also.
then I need to go to Facebook. I haven't been there since long. I'm using Apple Messenger and I'm using WhatsApp and all the other platforms like LIT for Asia or so. I also couldn't all maintain too many channels. Anyway, energy is low down here, and please forward it the moment you receive it.
I will look for it in a few hours. And by the way, that problem I consider the modern day equivalent of the Tower of Babel.
Yes,
Too many options.
this is what I'm struggling with, and I made really some good progress. So it's like a roller coaster, me up and down, sometimes being totally um, desperate in view of the global problematic and the selfishness and the bloody boring or aggressive or whatever dumb people around. It is really a nightmare. And especially here in Europe, we are having really deep societal clashes, not like you in America already, but really the parties are really getting harder and harder and more fighting. Anyway, I have to say bye. And especially Kayla, get up early.
I always get up early and I will try.
Lovely. See you soon.
Okay.
Oh, that's a small relief. Because I thought that Heiner was counting on me at that early time, but I'm glad he's got someone else really taking on that authority. Okay. That whole culture thing that we've been talking about, I think is an underlying assumption of capitalism. This, survival of the fittest, I have to be strong. If I win,
Yeah.
you have to lose. And if we win, they have to lose. That thinking is anti-civilization thinking. And
Zero
yet,
sum games.
yeah, and yet that's what's been propelling this particular country for two or three centuries. And
Since the
it's
colonizers
if you just
came.
look, sorry, what did you say, Kayla?
Since the colonizers came.
Yeah, exactly. And that underlying premise set up this country for this eventual failure because that that's not sustainable. And not only is it not sustainable, it's wasteful. How many
Mm-hmm.
people have to compete and n minus one have to lose in order for that one winner to just become the equivalent of a billionaire slash trillionaire? And yet everybody else has to lose. Why is that a way to build society?
Maybe there is a bad gene,
Maybe there is a what?
an asshole gene.
It's in the zeitgeist. And yet we have millennia of people living here, the indigenous peoples, who didn't have that asshole gene, or at least that's the story anyway. Yeah, they had
We
their
have
quibbles and quabbles, but they mostly were very intergenerational, and they were living, for millennia without all of this chaos.
we still have them. They're here, just not enough to outvote the others.
Not as they were, yeah. And that whole genocide has not been acknowledged either by this country.
Oh, why'd you throw up? Yeah.
And not to ignore also the genocidal acts of Japan about 100 years ago. They were definitely not a nice set of people back then.
They were not a nice set of people. And today, they're pretty damn nice.
It's incredible,
And
actually.
look at Heiner. He's absolutely the antithesis of Hitler.
I'm just hoping that there are some nice people left in this country after all of this chaos blows past. I am looking forward to the equivalent of our Nuremberg trials. I'd love to be the bailiff. Can't wait to get Bondi, Patel, all those others, Nome, Omen,
RFK,
into that courtroom. Yeah.
yes.
RFK has been idiotic. Has he actually been criminal? All these others have been criminal. Has
Well,
RFK done?
technically, it's criminal to ignore the science and basically put a shitload of babies at risk. That's as criminal as going out with a six gun.
Well, we think so from a societal standpoint, but is it legally? I don't think it is legally. Whereas all these other guys have done legally criminal acts.
Well, okay, so if you read the oath he took,
Oh, right, right. Obviously, it goes back to that. Yes.
okay, he's already violating that oath.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's like that's a given for anybody in this current administration. They're all violating that oath.
Oh, that part is true.
I'm looking for what distinguishes him as someone to call out.
Usually,
Oh, not to
when
mention
you're
Keg's breath. Sorry.
when you are the leader of some kind of a major governmental role, you want to surround yourself not with yes people, but with people who will give you their best advice, and you get to choose.
Not in this
This guy
administration.
surrounded himself, as did the POTUS. They surrounded themselves with people that totally agree with them and worship, lick their boots.
I am only semi hopeful that the criminal indictment on Hegseth as a war criminal and as a murderer in the international court can stand and move forward. I would love nothing more. Well, actually, no, there's a lot of things I would love more than that, but I would love to see that. I would love the international court to really start taking some action against Trump, against Hegseth, against Homan, against all of these people. And I think, unfortunately, my social media feed is trying to give me that sense of hope that this will happen, but I'm not sure it is because it's all just manipulated.
So here we've got a POTUS
Oh.
who is doing everything he can to stop drugs from coming into the country.
No, he's not.
And then he pardons the guy who was most responsible for doing it.
Everybody can see through that. If we were trying to deport criminals, he'd be at the top of the list.
The one that gets me is ICE, taking people who are U.S. citizens and throwing them out.
Without due process, without warrants, without even identifying themselves. These people are cowards to the nth degree. That's why they wear masks. And 5 years ago, these are probably, 95% of the overlapping the set of people that said, I'm not going to wear a mask.
Right.
Yeah, during COVID, they would not wear a mask, but now they're wearing masks.
Because they're cowards. They know they'll be put on trial after all this blows over. I want every single one of them to go to prison, if not worse.
So there was some mayor, I don't remember which town, which instructed his chief of police that any cop who uh, assisted ICE would be fired.
I don't know
Excellent.
where that is. Was that
Yeah,
Chicago?
where is it?
I don't know that it was Chicago. It was a different town.
Probably Chicago or Portland or someplace in California, I'm wondering.
I think it was on the East Coast.
All the better. It needs to happen there as well.
Now, California is trying to make this law that says that ICE cannot wear masks. Good luck with enforcing that one.
Why not? LA police is basically an army, but many of them are, white supremacists as well.
Yeah, that's an issue.
Yeah. And oh man, that thought just escaped my head. That happens more frequently now than before. I had something pithy to say. Kayla, help me out. What was I about to say?
I don't know, but you're becoming one of us now.
What do you mean, one of
Yeah.
you?
Welcome to the bimbo party.
I don't even know what that means. Welcome to the what?
You and everyone in GCC always has you don't seem to lag with words. I always feel like I lag a lot with words. So I was self-deprecating.
Oh,
Welcome to the
did you use the
bimbo
B word?
party.
Did you use the B word?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know if that I've ever been accused of being the B word before.
That's my
That's a
favorite
first.
B word.
That's a first. But I guess I deserve it. That I don't, at least in
It's
my
an
head,
honor.
resemble a bee. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, sorry, a little bit of a digression. May I tell a 20-second story?
Yeah, go for it.
I was out and about. First of all, I don't go out and about very often these days. I go out maybe once every 1 or 2 weeks to get supplies, Costco, grocery store, etc. And I attended. This is going to be very funny for you guys. I attended one of these retirement seminars where somebody's trying to tell you about taxes and wealth planning and assets and investments and
Oh, I attended those
legal.
too.
So I
Sorry.
sat with. I mean, I'd like to hear about your experiences also, but I was at this table. There were three other people and myself. It was Kevin on the other side of the table. He was a black man in his 50s. And there was an Asian couple sitting to my right. And they were both retired. And they just, handle rental properties, part-time for fun, these days because they're both retired. And she, the woman, she's probably 73, 74. I think she did say, I just forget the exact number, looked at me and says, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Well, I'm from Taiwan. I'm Asian." And I made some reference to the fact that, we were both Asian there. And she looked at me and said, "You don't look Asian. You look white." I
Wow.
thought,
Oh, give me a
really?
break.
Really? That was the first time someone had ever told me that. And she looked about as Chinese as you could look, the old Chinese lady look. Now, of course, I'm feeding those stereotypes right now, but I mean, she grew up in China. She was born in China. She came to the U.S., when she was like in her, I don't know, 20s, 30s, I forget. But she still had a very strong accent. Maybe it was later that she came over. But that was the first time somebody had told me I don't look Asian, that I looked white.
That
And she,
stuns me.
yeah, I mean, she didn't say it with like a smirk or anything like that. She's totally serious. Yeah, that was a first for me. I can't make this stuff up. You know, it's too incredible to make up. You would never believe me.
Well,
That's
maybe
awesome.
in the black community, there are degrees of blackness,
Mm.
and the lighter skinned black people very much discriminate against the very dark skinned ones. And maybe the Asians are like that too.
Jack,
Yeah.
haven't you seen Amy? What's her last name, Kayla? She's the one that talks
Amy?
about. Yes, yes, yes. Have you heard her shtick on Asians and Asian racism?
Mhm.
Amy,
She's got.
who?
What's her last name again, Kayla? Amy
No
Wong,
idea.
right?
Ali Wong.
Ali Wong. Ali Wong.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
she's got this whole spiel about fancy Asians and jungle Asians,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and it's very racist.
It is.
It really is.
We even have societal racism with like Asians who are born here
Yeah,
and Asians who came here. We call them
Right.
fobs, fresh off the boat.
FOBs or bananas. You
And
heard the
there's
term
a
banana?
huge difference. Oh yeah, and my cousin loved calling me that. But there's a big difference between like, the ones born here and the ones, that came a little later. Like I was reminiscing with my family, with my cousins, and I don't know if you guys have watched the Avengers, but if you watch the Avengers, they have like the Infinity Wars, and then at the end of the Infinity War, everybody disappeared except for the original Avengers. And so I said, "We're the original Avengers." Me and my cousin, and my dad and his brother, and just our little nucleus, two blended families. And I told my sister, I said everything got all fucked up when all the fobs came. That's when the inner family dynamic started to shift from like,
Yeah,
normal and supportive to really weird and divisive.
yeah.
So,
Hey, I hate to do this also, but being as I just wanted to remind you guys for the next N, where N is somewhere less than 8 weeks. On Saturdays, I have a hard cutoff at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And so that's about what, 5 minutes from now.
Yep.
Sundays, I'm still unimpeded. So at least until probably about mid-January, um, I'm going to be available only to do this for 1 hour on Saturdays and the normal time on Sundays. So just want to give that little reminder before I drop off at the top of the hour. Okay. And it's a Zoom
Thanks for
session,
the
so
reminder.
unfortunately, I'm going to have to be on Zoom. And Kayla, it's actually quite nice that you're able to participate more than I had anticipated,
Yeah, right.
especially bringing the
Well,
topic that you did.
we need to take care of each other.
Yeah. That's just why I was asking, Jack about his family and his kids. And I feel some sadness about my kids. And actually, it was nice to find out that Heiner's got kids. I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
should have asked that before. 4 grandkids and 2 kids.
By the way, you guys can always turn it around too. You know, obviously, my father's illness really turned us around as a family, and it really turned me around in such a significant way when he was in the hospital, and he said his piece. He basically apologized to me and my sister for all the years he thought he never showed love. So, there's it's like better late than never, right? You could always
Yeah, but
turn it around.
he had to he grew up during WW2.
Yeah.
He
No,
was in
I realize that. I get it. I'm just saying you can turn it around.
Yep.
And I love that about that moment. I also think about all the families where that moment wasn't possible.
Yeah.
It's a privilege, to have those memories.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very, very blessed.
Mhm.
Well, Sam, it's 2 till. Shall we say our goodbyes?
Thank you. And thanks for
Yeah,
the
thank you
topic. I
guys.
think it's rich. I think there's more I wanted to say about that, but maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Okay.
All righty.
Excellent.
All right.
Good seeing
Thank you
everybody.
all. Bye bye.
Bye.